Today, our panel, Nadine Higgins, the Prosperity Project host, and Dave Letele, BBM Motivation founder. Good morning, guys.
Morena.
Morena.
Good to see you. Right, lots to talk about. The census, it's gone. Yay. Who likes filling it in anyway? And did you know, Dave, it cost us apparently $25 million to run it?
Yeah, look, it's good riddance. You know, we were a part of the last one, and it's interesting because, you know, they always start too late and they give a whole bunch of influencers, which I was one of them, some money to try and get people to do it. The problem is, you know, people where we come from don't trust the system. I'll give you, my first introduction to the police was them raiding my house at 3 years old and stealing all my Christmas presents. You know, later on I found out they were actually confiscating, not stealing them. But from then on we didn't trust the system, right? So we're not going to give them information. That's the hard thing. And they always say they're hard to reach. We're hard to reach. Well, we're not hard to reach. It's hard for the system to reach.
Yeah, okay.
And to be fair, I think Meta knows more about us than the government does these days.
Yeah.
And do you not remember when, was it 20,000 New Zealanders listed their religion as Jedi so that it would be included on the census as an option in future?
Yeah.
So I guess people have long made a mockery of it. I think there's got to be better ways to collect the data, as long as they actually are collecting data that's relevant.
Yeah,
because otherwise they're going to make mistakes in their
You know, a
decisions.
lot of the times they say, you know, this is so important because we're going to use this to work on your community, what's needed, and we never see anything happen. So it's just what a waste of time.
It takes too long for them to actually crunch
The whole
numbers.
thing's bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know, they say that we've got other ways of getting information and stuff like that. But don't you find it weird that every 5 years, for how long, we've been filling in this form, like 5 million of us have been filling in this same form just because we're told to, and it costs $25 million every time we do it, and we actually didn't need to do it. You know, and it's like, until someone comes along and goes, hey, why are we doing that? And then it's gone. I mean, it just seems insane, doesn't it?
Oh, it's crazy. You think what the money could be used for.
I think it had its place, because if you were trying to make decisions based on actually not knowing who makes up your population, but if you've got other methods now, which you'd think in the digital age you should, then that's a different story. But we actually have to know who's in all the different demographics in order to be able to make long-term decisions that actually are relevant.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. So maybe it had a place, but doesn't have a place now. Very good. Okay, let's move on. Police. The senior police officer allowed two recruits, to get through without passing the fitness test. Nadine, have you ever done the police fitness test? Apparently it's actually quite physical and hard, as it should be, I suppose.
I haven't, but I think you have.
Oh, years ago. Once upon a time in my 20s when I had good knees, but I only lift weights now. It's tough. It's the running. Like a certain amount of Ks under a certain time, it's quite tough.
But do you know what? I don't know that I care if all the cops can do it or not, because there's more to policing than literally chasing the baddies down a dark alley, right?
Yeah.
I was more concerned that there were cops that failed a basic literacy test and were allowed to reset the psychometric test over and over again. Like, we should be a little bit more concerned about that, because there's other parts of policing. You know, you could interview people sensitively, or you could chase down the financial criminals because you're good at the back office stuff. But if you can't read and write, I'm a bit more concerned about that.
Okay, but if you're being chased by a robber, and then there's a police officer chasing the robber, and they can't run. Are you going to be worrying about their spelling then? No.
No, but we just have to direct them into the right place, right? So fine if they fail it, but don't hide it. Let's be public about it and be like, do you know what? You're not a beat cop who's going to chase down the baddies. You're a back office cop who's good at something else.
Yeah, okay.
I think, but they all have to start there, so they have the experience. But I also think it sets a dangerous precedent. What else are they letting go?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What? Just go through.
Yeah.
We need the numbers.
Anyone will do. Got a criminal record? Who cares? Now, we are going to talk Matariki in a second with Riwi Spragan. Now, he's doing a hangi for us. But do you guys have any reflections? Dave, I might start with you. Reflections for our long Matariki weekend. It's that time where you start thinking a little bit about what's happened so far this year, what's going to happen in the rest of the year. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I just use it at a time just to stop. And life's so busy and doing the work, but just stop and reflect and be grateful. You know, I think it's really important. As we're talking off air, you know, when you travel around the world and you see, as much as I complain about this government and all this sort of stuff, we're very lucky to live here in New Zealand.
Absolutely.
So lucky.
Totally.
Yeah, so just enjoy. Just enjoy time with my family and don't do any work. That's what I'm up to.
Yeah, and then Monday, straight back to complaining.
Yep, straight back into it. Holding it to account, Ryan. That's what it's called.
I love the new year in general, and so the idea of having like a mid-year new year that is thinking about what you're grateful for and what the rest of the year holds. I really like that sense of renewal. I'm not going to be setting any mid-year, new year resolutions or anything, but just the idea that you can take stock. And it's part of what you're grateful for, but also what does the rest of the year hold?
Yeah, a nice little halfway check-in. I got married on this weekend a year ago, and so Matariki is my wedding anniversary, and we decided to not do it by the date of the wedding, but just whatever, because it goes with the stars. So whatever weekend Matariki weekend is.
That's so cool.
And so you guys can do some romantic stargazing together.
Exactly. And you don't actually have to ever remember a date for your anniversary.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Clever.
Good to see you.
Thank you.